Good afternoon. Hello and welcome to this Monday afternoon edition of Power Lunch here on NDTV Profit. As you sit down to lunch, we'll try and collate for you all the top stories of the day, look at the markets and the top corporate developments. First off, let's tell you what's lined up in the show. We're of course focusing on the markets, but besides that, we're looking at the top news stories. The empowered group of ministers on Spectrum, they met this morning and they took some important decisions on lowering the base price of CDMA Spectrum and on holding all auctions in March this year. We're going to keep a track of what they've decided. Plus, we're going to talk about the much talked about SEZ revival plan, which seems to have been put on the back burner, at least for now. Sources are saying that the revised SEZ guidelines are unlikely to be introduced by month end. And more from the policy corridors. Finance Minister P. Chidambaram is holding pre-budget consultations with bankers today. What's on the agenda? What are they likely to talk about? We'll tell you all of that ahead on the show. Stock specific, well, oil and gas stocks have been on the run for some time now, and ahead on the show, we'll try to link the news flow and the price movements in this sector. We'll also tell you why there might be a slight relief coming in for banks, with the Finance Ministry proposing a new formula for interest rate calculation on bonds issued under the SEB restructuring scheme. Plus, a look at Maruti Suzuki and and an explanation as to why CLSA has upped the target price on Maruti to 1,915 and put a buy call on the counter. Let's first take you through what's happening in the markets at lunch today. We've got the benchmark indices, Nifty and Sensex, losing some of that early momentum and now trading in the negative territory. Down about 0.09% right now on the Nifty, 6,010, still maintaining 6,000, and we haven't slipped below that mark so far today. The day's lowest point today coming in at 6,005. The Sensex is right now off 13 points, trading at 19,771. It's pretty much of a declining trend right now, and some of that early momentum has been lost. The breadth of the market is sort of even Steven, but earlier in the day we'd seen more than 70% of the stocks advancing. Now that equation might have changed a little bit. A look at the broader markets will show you that the mid and the small cap space is still retaining some of that traction, interest from the traders. You've got the CNX mid cap index right now up 0.7%, and the small cap index is also holding ground. 67% of the stocks on the BSE 500 are advancing as we speak. 332 stocks are advancing. Which are the stocks which are leading at lunch today? The gainers. First, I'm going to run you through the sectoral indices and take a check of which are the sectors which are losing out. Capital goods seems to be one such sector. At the index level is down 0.8%. There's also a little bit of weakness today coming in the banking pack, with the PSU banking index right now trading in the negative territory. FMCG, infrastructure, the other two spaces looking a tad bit weak. But on the other hand, you've got a little bit of interest in the IT pack. Real estate counters as well doing okay. You've got a 0.19% uptick there. But if we take a look at the pharma space, strong gains there, up 0.73% at the index level. That's the CNX Pharma Index. We're also looking at the metal pack doing okay, with the metal index right now up 0.75%. Oil and gas stocks up more than half a percent right now, and we'll talk about why oil and gas stocks are gaining shortly ahead on this show. Let's talk about the gaining counters. BPCL, Maruti, Cipla are the top gainers at this point in time. 4.7% up for BPCL. Maruti is up more than 3%. Cipla from the pharma pack clocking in gains of more than 2.3% right now. But there are many losers in this market, and some of the losing counters include the likes of Larsen and Toubro, down 1.5%. JP Associates, 1.4% downtick there. Similar sort of downtick coming in on HDFC. And ACC, GAIL India are some of the other losers in today's market. The cues coming in from across Asia have been sort of tentative, and we've seen the Chinese markets trading in the positive territory since the start. About a little under 0.5% gained on both the Chinese markets right now, but the rest of Asia has closed with a tentative sort of closing. So you've got Hang Seng up absolutely flat at close, Kospi in the red, the Nikkei, the Japanese benchmark index has closed with a sharp downtick of 0.83%. Rest of the smaller markets like Jakarta, Taiwan, etc., they've also got some losses going, of course, at close. Those are the cues, immediate cues that are coming in from equity markets from around Asia. Back here in India, we're tracking some of the top news flow, and we've been tracking what's been happening in the telecom space rather closely. The Empowered Group of Ministers, or EGOM, on Spectrum, headed by Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. Today, they met earlier today in New Delhi, and they've recommended lowering the base price of CDMA Spectrum by about 30 or 50 basis percent. Essentially in a bid to attract bidders during the auction of 2G airwaves that is likely to take place before 31st of March. Of course, the final decision on the reserve price is going to be taken by the cabinet, and all auctions are going to be held within March 2013. That's also what the EGOM has decided. It's also decided that airwaves in the 1800 megahertz band in Kolkata will not be re-auctioned like we had indicated to you earlier. Arijit Banerjee is joining in right now with more on this. Arijit, good afternoon. The EGOM has deliberated on several issues, at its meeting this morning. Do take our viewers through an update on the latest stand of the EGOM.
Well, the Empowered Group of Ministers has taken a decision on a whole host of issues, a lot of issues. The first, of course, what will happen to the GSM spectrum, which is being auctioned in the 4 metros where there were no bidders, which is Delhi, Mumbai, Karnataka and Rajasthan. A 30% cut had been recommended by the, had been something which had been looked at. So that has been something which is approved by the EGOM now. So there will be a 30% cut on that, and the auctions for these 4 places, and along with that of Kolkata, where both 900 and 1800 megahertz will be auctioned, will happen in March. The government is looking to start the auctions from 11th of March. That has been the timeline which has also been agreed upon by the Empowered Group of Ministers. Auctions very critical for companies like Bharti and Vodafone also, because their licenses are coming up for renewal in 2014, and it is in this auction that they will have to participate compulsorily and get the spectrum through this auction to continue their services in the critical areas of Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata beyond 2014. Back to you.